Hi everybody, and welcome to my channel. And here are my predictions for this weekend's Premiership matches. Let's start with Brentford versus Chelsea. Well, so far Brentford are not having a very good season, are they? At the moment they're 16th, and of course Chelsea are 11th. Brentford have won 7, lost 15, whereas Chelsea won 10, lost 10. And of course Chelsea lost to Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final last Sunday, but they are through to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. They beat Leeds 3-2, but only just. It was a bit of a struggle for Chelsea to beat Leeds, but they managed it. This one I'm going to go for Brentford 2, Chelsea 3. I'm going to go for a Chelsea win. Everton versus West Ham. Everton, of course, are 15th, and West Ham are 8th. Everton have won 8, lost 11. West Ham won 11, lost 9. And of course, Everton drew last weekend with Brighton, and West Ham beat Brentford on Monday night. And of course, Everton are still under the threat of having more points deducted. If they have any more points taken off them, they could find themselves in the bottom 3. It's been so far this season, it's been a bit of a struggle for Everton. I did say at the start of the season I thought that Everton would struggle again, and they have, even though that if they didn't have those points taken away from them, they still would have had a struggle again this season. Will Everton. West Ham, well, they're having a bit of an iffy season. There are still West Ham fans who are not happy with David Moyes. Everton have won 8, lost 11. West Ham have won 11, lost 9. This one I'm going to go for Everton 1, West Ham. I don't know about this one. I'm going to go for a draw. Everton 1, West Ham 1. Fulham versus Brighton. Well, Fulham are 12th, Brighton are 7th. And Fulham have been picking up points of late. Brighton, of course, drew with Everton last weekend. Fulham have won 9, lost 12. Brighton have won 10, lost 7. This one I'm going to go for Fulham. I'm going to go for Fulham to win. Fulham 2, Brighton 1. Newcastle versus Wolves. Newcastle, of course, are 10th, and Wolves are above them in 9th. And of course, Newcastle this season, they're not having a very good season, are they? This season, I think the Newcastle fans and the pundits were getting a little bit carried away. I bet they thought that Newcastle were going to win the Premiership this season and the Champions League as well, but it's not to be this season. I don't know why everybody keeps expecting Newcastle to win something that they won't. Certainly not the Premier League or the Champions League. Just because they beat Paris Saint-Germain last September, everybody was getting excited and they thought that Newcastle were going to go on and win it, but no. It just, for all the money they've got, Newcastle, it doesn't seem to make any difference. Well, of course, Newcastle are in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, but they've got to play Manchester City. But I think it's another season of a trophyless season for Newcastle. I can't see beating Manchester City. Anyway, Newcastle have won 11, lost 11. Wolves have won 11, lost 10. This one I'm going to go for Newcastle 0, Wolves 1. I'm going to go for Wolves to win, to beat Newcastle. Nottingham Forest versus Liverpool. Well, Forest are 17th. Liverpool are top. Forest have won 6, lost 14. Liverpool have won 18, lost 2. This one I'm going to go for Forest 0, Newcastle 2. Liverpool 2, sorry, not Newcastle. Tottenham versus Crystal Palace. Well, Tottenham are 5th and Crystal Palace, they are 13th. And of course, Crystal Palace have a new manager. And Crystal Palace won last weekend. They beat Burnley. Tottenham have won 14, lost 6. Crystal Palace have won 7, lost 12. This one I'm going to go for Tottenham 1, Crystal Palace 2. I'm going to go for a Crystal Palace win. I think Crystal Palace will spring a surprise tomorrow with Tottenham. Luton Town versus Aston Villa. Well, Luton are 18, and of course Villa, they are 4th. And then are they going to finish in the top 4 in the Champions League next season? Luton have won 5, lost 15, whereas Villa have won 16, lost 6. Well, I'm going to go for Villa. Villa to win. Luton 0, Villa 2. Burnley versus Bournemouth. Well, Burnley are in all sorts of trouble, and they are looking like they are going to be back in the Championship next season. It's all gone wrong for them this season. Everybody said at the start of the season that everybody thought that Burnley would be relegated, and it looks like they're going to be. And of course, Bournemouth are 14th. Going back to Burnley, you can see where Burnley's problem is. They haven't got anybody to score the goals. And so, like I said, everybody did say that they thought that Burnley would be back in the Championship next season. It looks like they're going to be. I just don't understand how Burnley were won the Championship last season. It's a complete mystery to me how they won it. I just don't understand it. And of course, Bournemouth, they're not having a bit of an iffy season. Burnley have won 3, lost 19. Bournemouth have won 7, lost 11. This one I'm going to go for Burnley 0, Bournemouth 1. I'm going to go for 1-0 to Burnley. And of course, the Manchester derby, Manchester City versus Man United. Well, Manchester City are back to winning ways again, even though they're winning by the odd goal, but I'm still managing to pinch a win. Manchester City, of course, are 2nd, and Man United are 6th, and of course it's all going wrong again for Manchester United and Erik ten Hag. Fulham beat them last weekend. Manchester United, just when you think Manchester United are back to winning ways again, they go and lose. They start losing matches again. I don't know how much longer Erik ten Hag is going to be at Manchester United. I think that Manchester United board have probably made up their mind to get rid of him at the end of the season, the way it's going, because he just doesn't seem to make any difference to Man United. I mean, they beat Luton the other week, a few weeks ago, the other weekend, but then back to square one again. And of course, Manchester City have won 18, lost 3. Man United have won 14, lost 10, and both these sides are through to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. This one I'm going to go for Manchester City. Manchester City 1. Man United 0. Oh. Yes. Oh, man. And finally, I'm going Sheffield United versus Arsenal. Sheffield United 0. Arsenal 5.